Good morning, everybody. How we doing today?
Morning.
Yeah, it's cold, but it's sunny. So welcome to Fairdale. Thank you all for coming out here very much. We're here this morning with some really exciting news because some people say this has been a long time coming, but it's come, and there's been an extraordinary amount of work that has taken place to get us here today that you're going to hear about this. We got some exciting news from the governor's office and the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet about a project that's been long anticipated here in Fairdale. And representing the governor this morning is someone who's played a super key role in keeping this project on track and moving forward. I want to take this opportunity too to thank Governor Beshear's Chief of Staff, Larry Bond, right here. Larry, when you take a look at the history of our Commonwealth and our city over the last half century, he's an individual that has stepped up over decades to help the city, to help the county, to help the state in the key leadership positions behind the scenes, effectively getting things done, always having the good intentions of the most amount of people that he can help here in the state, and he's just been a tremendous asset to the city and the state. I want to thank you, Larry, for the wonderful work you've done for the city with the governor and the county and Mayor Armstrong, Judge Armstrong. Your treasure. Larry Bond.
Mayor, if I knew you was going to say all those nice things, I'd have came here earlier. On behalf of Governor Beshear, I'm really happy to be here today. This is a project that's been in the works for a long time. State Representative Ron Weston, who is with us today, former State Representative Ron Weston, was the first one to actually get money put in the 6-year road plan in the budget, and I think it's back as far as 08, as 2008 when that happened. In looking at the Fairdale Business District, and we're standing kind of in the middle of it. This project's going to change the face of the Fairdale Business District. We think it's going to not only improve the viewscape tremendously, but also help spur development and other things for Fairdale. This is the front door to the Jefferson Memorial Forest, which is the largest urban forest in the country, and it's something that we need to promote on a regular basis, and we need a front door that warrants that. There have been many people that have helped on this project. Ron Weston, former State Representative Ron Weston, was the first one to get actual money put in the budget and a commitment to get it done. Representative Jeff Donahue took up the torch after that and has worked very hard to keep momentum on this project. Councilwoman Vicky Audrey Welch has been a supporter from day one and has worked very hard with the community on the whole village plan, not just the road project. Mayor Fisher and Ellen Hessen, who is his chief of staff, and their public works department has been a great partner with this. This is an example of a public partnership between Louisville Metro and the state of Kentucky, which is going to pay dividends for a long time to come. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Matt Bullock. Matt Bullock's our chief engineer for Jefferson County. Him and his staff have worked extremely hard to make this day happen, and I promised Ron Weston. I said before I leave office, we'll break ground on this project. I got 2 days left, so I want to thank Matt for not making a liar out of me. So I'm very happy to be here today, and it's a very exciting project. And thank you all for coming.
All right, that's a true measure of a man there when he makes and keeps his commitments. It's hard to put a project together like this. You'll see here with all the different parcels involved. So thanks to Larry, and please give our thanks to the governor as well. The Beshear administration has been a great friend to Louisville. And projects like the Fairdale Roundabout really lay the groundwork for more economic activity here in Jefferson County. We've got great momentum in the city. It's important that all parts of the city and county feel like they're part of that momentum, and this project will do a lot of that for Fairdale. And the design of it too is really cool. As you can see here, it's kind of a cutting-edge design that people will come and really enjoy taking a look at. This new roundabout is going to improve traffic flow in a big way. This has obviously been kind of an awkward transportation route here that people have lived with and gotten used to, frankly, for decades and decades. But it's going to help the traffic flow. It'll help safety. I think it's going to help quality of life for the current residents as well, and it's going to help attract new businesses to the area. I mean, there should be businesses all around here as people are going to the forest and saying, wow, this is Fairdale, and it's got this appropriate front door that Larry Bond talked about. And it provides a real opportunity, I think, for the gateway to the forest to develop even more into a destination of its own. And those were the primary goals that were set forth by Representative Weston, then Representative Weston, and then Donahue, and then Vicki Aubrey Welch, communicating to the state on what we wanted to see here in this project, and then BTM Engineering helped bring that to life and then get that passed through with our partners at the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. It was a vision that was started, what, around 10 years ago?
2003 was the first step with the village plan.
Yeah, 2003 with the village plan, so a dozen years. And there's a lot of plans that go on shelves and are forgotten. This one, due to this gentleman, and this lady, has never been forgotten, believe me. There's not a week that goes by that Councilwoman Welch is not asking what the status of the project was, and so this is how all this comes to life. So it takes a team to get these things done. More than a dozen area residents and business owners participated in that task force that came out of the vision in 2003 to kick off the process. So any of y'all here? Saw a couple folks here. So a couple of the committee folks. So thank you all very much for participating in this. And nobody pushed harder for this project than Vicki and Jeff. And so if y'all could come up and say a few words, we'll go from there. So let's start with Vicki Aubrey Welch, our councilwoman here. Vicki.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I have to reiterate what both of the previous speakers have said, but Ron is the one who started the project, Ron Weston, who was the first council member from District 13 and the first president of the Metro Council. So I took the baton from him, and he helped me a lot along the way. And then when Jeff came along, he and I have been the pushers. So, think of a football team. We have been pushing to get this thing going. And finally, today is a great day in Fairdale. I am just so happy to see this happen. While this administration, because Governor Beshear's administration has helped us along the way with Matt Bullock and his team, and I have to thank John Cosper out there with the Public Works team. He's been with me on this project and on the Mount Holly sidewalk project just down the road. So there's lots of new infrastructure here in Fairdale. I'm looking forward to new economic development opportunities here. If there's any developers out there listening, this area is ripe. With the Forest Master Plan of new campsites, new welcome center, new education facilities, this area is going to be the recreation area of Louisville Metro. So thank you all for coming today. I do appreciate that. And thank you all team members who have helped us push and fight this project through. Thank you.
Good job, Vicki. All right, good job, Vicki. Vicki, you all should know if she's your councilwoman, she's tenacious and she's persistent for her constituents, and we appreciate that very much. Speaking of that, Jeff Donahue. Jeff's been a great representative for you all, not just in Frankfort, but with City Hall as well, as he lays out what his priorities are and works with us in terms of what the resources we have as a city, and then we develop plans on how to work with Frankfort together. So Representative Jeff Donahue.
Thank you, sir. Well, good morning. It's great to see everyone here. I'd like to thank everyone for coming this morning. This, believe it or not, is a historical day for our community. With the start and the completion of the Fairdale Roundabout project, in my opinion, we're laying the cornerstone and the building block for the gateway to the Memorial Forest, the largest urban forest in the country. And a lot of folks forget about that. It's just unbelievable. It's such a hidden treasure. Our community is a community of unlimited possibilities now and in the future. And I, as my neighbors do, I love the small town feel of this community, and with the proper guidance, community input, and leadership, we can keep that appeal as our neighborhood grows. And there's been a lot of conversation, but I'm a guy that I hope I never grow up. My wife said, "My God, someday I hope you grow up." But I'm a dreamer, and I can see, the gazebo sitting over there in the new green space we're going to have, and I can see the flagpole with the American flag and the flag honoring the veterans and the people missing in action, and I can see the area where neighbors will enjoy the change of seasons and the many neighborhood activities that will come in the future. The staging area for walks, the Louisville Loop connection, bicyclist activities, our 5K run that the high school has every year, the Fairdale Parade, the possibility of local music in the summertime, similar to other events that neighborhoods hold as well. All this would not be possible if it hadn't been for the vision of then State Representative Ron Weston and the committee members of the Village Project proposal many years ago. I believe that started in 2003. It wouldn't be possible if it had not been for the friendship of the governor, Bashir has shown at us and his leadership too as well. And a special thanks to our friend Larry Bond for his tireless efforts of seeing this project through. Our friends in Frankfort that stood with me for us when the funding was removed, and with their help, the funding was put back in the budget for the project. I'm thankful for the partnership that we have with the City of Louisville and the State of Kentucky. Mayor Fisher and our City of Louisville team, John Cosper, done a fantastic job. District 5 or Division 5, Matt Bullock and his team. Metro Council person Vicki Welch, she's been a great partner as we work together to move our community forward. And I want to thank the business owners in our community for their cooperation concerning this project. And I would like to emphasize, if any issues and concerns arise in this project, if they do, please contact me. We want this project run as smooth as possible. And I, as others do in Fairdale, we love Fairdale. And I'm excited to what the future holds for us. And if I can coin a phrase, and it's a great day in the neighborhood. So thank you all. Appreciate it.
Okay, Ron Weston, there's been a lot said about you here today, so why don't you come up here and share a few of your visionary inspirations with us here. Let's welcome him back to the podium here. Ron Weston.
Yeah. Thanks, Mayor. Well, it's been 3 wonderful years of not having to be in front of a mic, so as retirement. But there's several people, as they've mentioned before, about all the help that we have had to get this project going and realizing that it is going to take place starting today. There's 2 people that I really would like to thank when I was in Frankfort, and that was Secretary Prather, who I met with several times on trying to find out how much money it would take to get the project going. And also, after Secretary Prather left, Secretary Hancock, who was very supportive and very helpful. So besides everyone else that was named today, I wanted to mention those 2 because without them and their expertise, it would have been a whole lot more difficult to get the project going. But I want to thank everybody, as everyone else has said. This is a great place to be. One of the main obstacles that we had when I was on the council, as Vicki can vouch for, is our infrastructure here has been difficult. This is a terrible intersection when it comes to trying to get people to come in and risk their money to open up a business. You have to have an infrastructure and sidewalks and that type of thing. And with the force, we wanted to make sure that we had the best offer that we could present to these business owners. So this is really going to help our community, and the community wants to thank everybody for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron. All right, now what the heck are we talking about here? Let's get a little detail on the project here. I want to pass this along to the people who have taken the vision from paper and putting it into action, and that's the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. So you've heard about our Chief District Engineer, Matt Bullock, who's made all this happen for us. He's here with us today to tell us about the project. Matt, come on up.
Thank you, Mayor. I've heard a lot of reference to a race and baton and motivation and running and so forth. I really do feel like this has been can be compared to a relay race where Ron Weston started. He was the kickoff leg for the relay. I don't know that we were running a sprint. We were definitely running a marathon or maybe a triathlon. But along the way, there's been passing of the baton. It started with Louisville Metro with the design phase in conjunction with BTM, the engineer. The baton was passed off to the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, and our role was to acquire the right-of-way, the needed parcels and the land, coordinate the utility relocation, and ultimately construction. So we're passing the baton off to the utility companies, LG&E and Water Company, and then the contractor. I believe the contractor is Flynn Brothers. The contract amount is just shy of $3 million. So along the way of passing off this baton and finishing the race, we've had several folks behind me and others that have already been named that have been running along the baton runners to make sure that they stayed in their lane and continue to run as fast as they can. So here we are, we're passing off the baton to the contractor, and by August of 2017, we will have a completed and polished and aesthetically pleasing intersection back here that not only is going to be nice to look at and vibrant for Fairdale, but it's also create a safer passageway through here. Of course, roundabouts, as you all know, they're becoming more and more common in areas as a way to get traffic through an area more safely. You don't have the signals to worry about, so we can get cars through there more safely. So over here on my left is a rendering of what that's going to look like. And some of the other things that aren't shown on here that are important to note is there are going to be 13 light standards that are going to be a part of this intersection, something that's not always done with new intersections, but in partnership with Louisville Metro, those are going to be installed and maintained. So there's not only going to be a nice intersection and sidewalks and a shared use path, but 13 lights to go with this. We're also going to be installing 2 new school flashers with this. The flashing lights that are at their intersection right now will go away since we're going to have the roundabouts take care of that. So a lot of good things. I'm proud to be a part of the partnership we've had with local, state, and even the federal government who kicked in some funds for this as well. So thank you all for being here today, and have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. So all kinds of good activity coming along. We will remember, too, the Louisville Loop will be coming through here. That'll be our 100-mile mixed-use path for the community, so it continues to make progress every year. So it's important, obviously, that we're investing in all parts of the community. This is a real signature investment for Fairdale, following on the library a couple of years ago as well. And, again, just great job to everybody for the teamwork that's put this together over the last dozen years. Any questions on this project?
Yes, that's a great question. There are some underground utilities that are associated with the project. Within the project limits, pretty much everything you see overhead within the roadway is going to be either put into the ground or moved back away from the roadway. So it's not a complete overhaul where everything disappears, but within the limits of that project, you're going to see those overhead utilities go underground.
During the course of construction, will the intersections closed or stay open, traffic?
That's another good question. That's correct. The contract documents state that traffic is supposed to be maintained at all times. As you can well imagine, that's going to be some difficulty sometimes, but at the very least, there'll be a flagger that flags people through. It'll never be a complete closure. It'll always be open.
This has been a Metro TV production, a public service of Louisville Metro government.